Being a vet is not all rainbows and sunshine. Don't get me wrong, I love my job, but there are some things that really don't need to happen. These can be things that can be avoidable, but also things that just cannot. Hi, I'm Vet Nele and I help cat and dog owners avoid sudden sickness and high medical bills without the long waiting times and stress, and so Dr. Google doesn't give you a heart attack. Number 1. People not showing up to the appointment. This is one of the most annoying things that happen to us in the practice. Our rule is if you do not cancel 24 hours prior to this appointment, then you will have to pay the consultation fee. Not only do people not show up without any notice, they also get angry if we mention that they'll have to pay the consultation, like they didn't know about it. Is it that difficult to just be responsible and show up to an appointment that you made, to the commitment that you made to your vet and to your pet, and just be there, and also be there on time? Now, I can imagine sometimes something does happen that you cannot control, but then you have to provide proof that this happened, because everyone uses that excuse, and I don't want to be insensitive, but they do. So I cannot believe you at your word, even though I do think you're trustworthy, I do like you, but just give me the proof and we can stop discussing it, and we will drop the consultation fee without any hassle. But just show up to the appointment, please. We cannot help anyone else that wanted to come at the time that your spot was reserved, because we only work on appointments. That way we can give enough time to every pet so it doesn't have to be factory-like and super fast, and just relaxed so that cat or dog isn't stressing out, because we're stressing out because we're in a time crunch. Number 2, owners not listening to medical advice. What happens is they think they know better, they read or they looked something up online and they think you're all wrong because you didn't consider what they found. Maybe I didn't consider it because it's not at all likely that your pet has this from what you've told me, from what I've examined on your pet. Very frustrating. Don't get me wrong, it can be helpful if you found something that can think along with you. It might be something that at the very moment we didn't think about. We're not perfect, we're not always right on the diagnosis. Doesn't happen like this most of the time. There are some, but not always. It takes time sometimes, and it's kind of condescending if you say like, well, it's that, you don't have to look any further. Well, thanks, I'll write you your medication and send you on your way. Or even after a consultation, you gave them all the advice they needed to hear. They were all in agreement, then they look it up, then they send a lot of emails back and forth about what they found, why do you think this or this, and then you have another conversation with them, they're all in agreement, and then again come the mails with they found this and this, and then they do what they were thinking of doing anyways. Why did I waste my time? Honestly, because I care. But yeah, frustrating. I've been a vet for over 9 years now. It's gotta count for something, right? I feel like it's a lack of trust. It happens with older people because they think I'm young, and in my 30s now, young? I think the youngsters think I'm old, or because, yeah, they just have a mind of their own. But I feel like if you can't trust me, then please go find another vet that you do trust, or just go find another vet and leave me alone, because it is very frustrating, very stressful, and we cannot help each other properly. Sometimes some people just don't click very well. It's not a problem. I don't take it personally. You can go click with another vet. Number 3. Difficult owners. There's this saying, if you want to fail in life, try pleasing everybody. It's not possible. I have learned this over the years, but it remains difficult when you try to help people out with their pet and you do all of these things, you put in all the effort, and still not enough for them. I feel like they just don't see all the effort that you put in. They don't respect you. Maybe I don't feel like I'm better than anyone else. Trust me, I'm just a regular person. I think you are just as good as me. You're not below me. I am not above you. But a little respect goes a long way. I'm putting in my time and effort to help you with your pets. And this doesn't always mean because they don't want to listen. Difficult can also mean a language barrier. I don't mind language barriers. I can cut through them pretty well. But if the owner is not putting in the effort from the other side, well, there goes that. This video is difficult for me to make. But what I also mean by difficult owners is you give them the advice, for example, that blood analysis would be a good idea, even though nothing is wrong with their animal. Some things are only seen in the blood. Even though you give all the explanation, they still don't want to do it. They think it's too much, but it could be a money issue, which I will get back to. Number 4, difficult animals. We have a very, very annoying combination if it's a difficult owner, but if the animal is also difficult, I mean if they act aggressively, they claw or bite at you. This combination is oftentimes a reason why you might not be welcome with your pet anymore. If the owner is lovely, I will handle the difficult animal. I don't mind. It's not the owner's fault most of the time. We can work around the difficult animal. Sometimes owners dare to point the finger at us why the animal is not cooperating. Don't do that. That's not nice. Or they feel like it is our responsibility to be able to examine the pet, even if the pet is super aggressive. Now I'm talking about the owners again. Yeah, I don't often blame the pet. I just don't. Number 5, money problems. This is also one I have not studied for, but there are a few open bills at my practice people didn't pay at the time of the consultation. Either they asked for a prolonged payment, but you have to think about it this way. You're kind of borrowing money from me because the costs are made and you didn't pay right away. Much rather you borrow money from the bank or from friends or from family. Don't ask your vet for this. It's actually very unethical. No offense. Again, this video is difficult for me to make. It's brutally honest. It would go like this. Either they start a consultation by saying I won't be able to pay right away, which I respect much more, but sometimes everything is done, pet is all taken care of, and well, it's time to pay, they're like, I didn't bring any money. Well, we also have the possibility pay with a card or with your smartphone. Well, I didn't bring that either. Yeah, you didn't bring that because you didn't mean to bring it. Often, you never see that money, ever. We do work against this. You will be blacklisted among the veterinarians in the greater scope of this area. You will not be welcome anywhere close to your home with your pets when there's something wrong with them. I hate doing this, but we have to protect each other. A little bit on that same scope, what bothers me tremendously, the people who don't have the money for one pet have multiple pets. If you can't take care of one pet, please don't take more than one pet. Number 6, losing an animal during surgery. This is a terrible one. You can take all the precautions you want. You can do pre-operative examinations, maybe even blood work, maybe even other stuff. And sometimes, even though you did everything right, you just lose the animal during surgery. And trust me, reanimation almost never works with animals. We always try, but it's much more for the owner than for the animal itself. And yeah, for us as well. We try for ourselves. But usually we cannot find out what the problem was. Most people do not want an autopsy afterwards, which I always recommend because I want to know if possibly I did do something wrong so I can learn from it so I can never do it again. We are humans, not gods. We make mistakes too. We try to avoid them at all costs, but we make mistakes too. Number 7, euthanasia. This is the most ugly truth. When you're becoming a vet, you learn almost nothing about euthanasia during your university years. You just know, well, if this happens, this disease, well, euthanasia is the only option or is one of the options, but the actual performing of the euthanasia, what products, what dosage to use, how to use them, how to interact with the clients, how to hold yourself in this very emotional moment. We don't learn anything about that. You just get thrown into the deep end when you're graduated and you have to deal with it. The first few times are the worst. It's not like you get used to it, but you kind of get used to it a little bit. And it depends on how long I knew the animal and how well I know the owners. I usually don't have tears running down my face. So sometimes I do tear up because it's too much. The feeling of not being able to help this animal or not anymore, it's not nice. But sometimes just keeping in mind that performing the euthanasia is actually the final help that you can get this animal so the animal doesn't suffer anymore is a good one. Doesn't always go that way. If the animal, usually a dog, is dangerously aggressive. I had to do this once. We had to put down a dog because he was aggressive, and we had to put him down aggressively so we didn't get hurt. We had to pin him down and with a restraint on the face. So yeah, that's not, I didn't feel right to me at all. It was in my first year after graduation, so I just did what was asked of me from the place I was working at that time. The owner did tell us that they did everything with therapy and such, but yeah, I didn't know the owner. I was just going off of what the other veterinarian was telling me. Not nice. Euthanasia sucks. Leaving it quite on a dark note, am I? Anyways, let's keep your fur babies happy and healthy together, and I'll see you in the next video.